Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. It's VirtuaLee and we're back with another project renovation. Today we're at Rindle Row, so this is a different neighborhood within Willow Creek. And for those of you that are newer to the channel and just catching the first renovation video on this channel, we are trying to renovate every household and every lot in all of the worlds in The Sims 4, hoping to get a save out to you guys so that you can have a brand new world with updated and made over lots and made over Sims, especially the townies. Every time we renovate one neighborhood, we go to town with the townies that are in it and we renovate them as well. So this project is going to take a little bit. So what I might do is in my busier months, I may pause our current Let's Plays or whatever programs that we're running on the channel. We may pause it and just do renovations. Maybe I'll do that in my busier months at work because I get really busy during the summer, but I just got word at my place of employment that the tax breaks have allowed our company to give, and this is with publicly traded news, so I can share this, but I'm very fortunate. I work for a company that their motto is people first. And it is so apparent in everything that they do every day. I'm really, 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 really lucky to work for this company. And with the recent tax breaks that the government has allotted, the company is actually giving back to the employees and giving them their annual increases earlier this year, about 6 months earlier. And I'm part of the team that distributes those increases annually. So I will be involved with running that sort of merit time very, very early this year. So that may mean that my content will be a little bit sporadic here and there until I can get those busy months over and done with, because it really takes everything out of me to do the right thing for the people that work for us. They are priority during those months, so I have to do the right thing and focus on them and focus on work during those busy months. So it's a little earlier this year, so I just want to give you guys a little warning on those happenings, and that was just announced on Friday. So yay us. We're very, very happy to do this for the right thing, for the right people at the right time, and in the coolest company ever. Anywho, thoughts for random Fridays. I had a couple of things going on in my head because my videos on Fridays happen to be very sporadic. Whatever is relevant in the Sims world or whatever is relevant to me in terms of Sims that week gets posted on Fridays. So there's really no rhyme or reason for Fridays. It's just whatever happens. So I'm wondering if with the new game pack that's coming out, if we should do a little something new there and maybe do a gameplay or a let's play on that new game pack that's coming out. So that's a thought. I know I owe you guys a bullet journal video. I really want to get that out. Maybe I'll get that out this week because I don't have anything particularly planned for Friday. So I may focus on putting a video together for that. So that should be a little bit fun. It's not Sims related. For those of you that like to just hear me ramble and want to see what this thing is, you guys can stay tuned for Friday because I think I'm going to do something. Not 100% sold on the thought yet, but I definitely do want to get a video of that nature out there so you can see what it's all about, and if it interests you, maybe something you can look into. And I'll tell you right now, I'm no way a professional bullet journalist. There are so many amazing bullet journalists in the community, and I am not one of them. I'm just so new to it. And I'm still learning. Like I think that's the beauty of it though, and I'll talk more about it on Friday. The beauty about bullet journaling is that it's customized to you, and what you want to focus on and what you want to grow in and what you want to track and what you want to plan and what you want to commemorate as a memory. And it can be as dramatic as you want it to be, or it can be as simple as you want it to be. And it could be ever changing, and mine is ever changing all the time. Every week is something different. I started tracking one of the things, and I shouldn't be talking about this now because then I won't have anything to talk about on Friday, but I'll share this real quick tidbit with you guys. But I started tracking my water intake because I'm a horrible water drinker. I don't know how people can drink so much water in a day. Like I for years didn't drink water, maybe sips here and there, but I'm more of a juice drinker. And for a long time I was a soda pop drinker, but I don't drink soda as much anymore. Some people say pop, some people say soda, so I'll say the word. I'll say them in tandem, soda pop. But I started tracking my water intake because I started to feel very lethargic and kind of like tired all the time, and my muscles were getting really, really cramped really badly, and I noticed that the skin on my face was getting just so horrid. And as soon as I started drinking a little bit more water, I'm feeling those symptoms very much subside. So it's amazing that I'm holding myself accountable in my bullet journal by tracking how much. And I know, like, when you guys see it on Friday, it'll be like, oh my God, this is pathetically. Is that all you drink for water? But I promise you, no judgments for me, because I think it's a milestone that I even am drinking 1.5 glasses, 2.5 glasses a day. I know I should be drinking more, but I can't force myself to do it. I have to do it incrementally. So it's really cool to see it on paper. It's cool to see myself transition towards positive eating and positive drinking. And so there's that. And we'll talk more about it on Friday. But anyway, there was that. There's that to look forward to. I got invited to see JT. Now here's a funny story. I had a coworker about 3 years ago when I first started in the company that I'm currently working at, and she's super bossy and super straightforward. She calls herself an honest communicator, but really she's more like a bully. And for the longest time, we just really we always got along, but it was really hard to get along with her because I just had to learn where she was coming from. And what I learned by befriending her is that she's just really passionate about what she does and who she is and who we are as people. And we become the best of friends. And she's actually moved on from our company and is working somewhere else. And we still have girls' nights once every month. We meet each other for dinner and we just go to town with our chats and what she's into and what I'm into. And she's like, I told her about doing one fun thing a month, and she goes, oh my God, you have to go see JT with me. And I'm like thinking, because, we used to work in the same place. I'm like, what department does JT work in, and why would I want to see him? She starts laughing and she's like, you are so not relevant with today's day and age and the fun things that are happening in our world. She's like, it's Justin Timberlake, you idiot. So I was like, oh, I know all about Justin Timberlake. I just didn't know that he had a acronym for it. This is how old and fuddy-duddy I am. I really need to get with it. Oh my God, this is terrible. But anyway, I said, I know Justin Timberlake from the Trolls because my nephew watches the Trolls and he actually produced all the music, and I absolutely love that animation. So he'll be in town late May, early June. So that's before our Las Vegas trip. So I'll actually be able to see Justin Timberlake with my friend. And yes, I'm so excited. I've not been to a lot of concerts in my lifetime. So when I was a teenager, I went to 3 concerts. One genre was a repeated artist that went to Puerto Rico about a couple of times that my parents were really big fans of, and my dad got us tickets to. Every time he came into the island, we went to see him. It was Yanni. I don't know if you guys know that. He was a pianist and he had an orchestra, and it was really, really cool. And then I saw New Kids on the Block back in the day. Oh my gosh. I'm so aging myself, but yeah, that was about it. I've not gone to any other concerts. I mean, I've gone to a lot of shows and things like that, but nothing like this. So this will be really, really cool. And thankfully she knows the city inside and out, so I don't have to worry about getting there. So that'll be fun. I did go to Cirque du Soleil last weekend, and I did talk about it in my makeover video. So if you guys are interested in hearing that story, make sure you check it out. And it was really fun, but I won't repeat the story in this video because I shared it all already, and it was really, really cool. I had a great time. So one of the things that I'm really getting into a lot is drawing. So part of the whole bullet journal world is to allow yourself to be artistic and doodle and things like that. So the doodling has gotten me like really hyped in this whole new artistic side. of myself. Here's a funny story. I never knew I could draw until I was in the 8th grade. I had an elective class and I chose art. I thought it was going to be like a home ec type thing, like you get to carve wood or things like that or play with clay. But it was an actual drawing class in the 8th grade, and this was before our journey to Puerto Rico. I actually went to middle school in New York at that time. Art teacher was phenomenal. He was very inspiring. One of the very first things, or the first thing that I drew, because I never knew I had a knack for this, but the very first thing that I drew was a fish, and it was a real fish out of a magazine. It was our reference material, and I just drew it. I didn't trace it. I drew it. Now it was magnified. I didn't have the proportions right in terms of size because I didn't have enough room on my paper for his tail. But from his torso to his face, it was a pretty close match. It was like the biggest smile on my face because I honestly didn't know I could. Nobody said I could. Nobody gave me the opportunity to. I colored in coloring books, but every kid does, Never tried to draw until this class. And then I did a lot of drawing in college when I was in Puerto Rico. It was more comic book drawing, only because I liked a boy who used to draw comic books and I wanted him to think I was cool. So I did a lot of comic book drawing. And then I completely stopped cold turkey after that. I don't know why. I don't think it was guy related. I just think that I got more into music, and then I got that opportunity to come to the States and travel with that musical group. So it was full focus on my vocal ability instead of my drawing ability. So I let it go for years and years and years. And then when I started the bullet journaling, I got back into it, and it's very therapeutic. It's so fun to be able to watch your own characters that you create come to life on paper. And I actually got it's a Wacom Intuos, which is a drawing tablet, and it's a very small one. It's not fancy at all. It's just something for beginners. I wanted to try my hand at digital painting, and it's very hard, but it's very, very fun, and again, very therapeutic. So I'm very excited about my adventures there. I don't have a lot of time for it is the only thing, between work and YouTube and my adventures elsewhere. It's very hard to focus on yet another thing, but it's a thing that I'm really enjoying. It's a thing that's providing a lot of therapy for me. It's just a very peaceful activity, and I'm enjoying it. So that's the new thing in my life this week. But that sounded really weird. In my life. This is a very peculiar thing, you see. I love voices. I love voice acting. One of the things that I struggle with, there's a few voices that I struggle with. The Australian accent is a major one. G'day, mate. That's about all I can do. I watch this illustrator on YouTube who's Australian, and every time he says a word or two, like, I try to repeat it, so in hopes that by osmosis I could get the knack of that accent. But I don't know what it is. I can do a British accent. I can do a French accent pretty good. You guys know I can do one of those thick Spanish accents because I do Joaquin every week, and that was the accent I was raised with, so that's the easiest for me to do. But I cannot do Australian. I can do a Russian one pretty easily as well, like Vladimir, bring me some water. That's a good one. I cannot do an Irish accent. That one I've tried a lot, and I think if you because I watch Outlander, I would do the same thing. I'd try to repeat some of their dialect back, mimic them, but it's not something that sticks very well for me, so I won't hurt your ears with trying that one. Yeah, I think those are the major accents. Like, I can do a Valley Girl, I can do a New York accent, I can do a Boston accent. So there's a lot of little accents, even in the United States. A Southern accent, those are easy for me to do, but There's just some that are hard. Anyway, my bullet journal prompt for this week was, when you were a kid, what did you always dream you wanted to be? And that was a really fun one for me to flesh out because, I mean, I was a girly girl, but I wasn't the typical girly girl that wanted to be a princess. And there were some times, because I would often find myself daydreaming so much. I've told stories all of my life, and mostly to myself growing up. And sometimes I would spend countless nights just laying on the bed, looking at the ceiling, imagining worlds of different things that I could do and I could see and I could visit. But one of the reoccurring ones was that I had magical powers and I was this cool kid at school because, you know, I could grant all my friends their wishes and all this stuff. But something that triggered was that the only time I used powers for myself was to turn myself beautiful, whatever that meant for me at that time. So at that time, and being raised in the culture that I was raised in Puerto Rico, like there's a lot of pressure for beauty. It's a weird thing to say, but what I mean by that is the culture was very much focused on physical beauty instead of an internal beauty, especially in the era that I was raised in and the community that I was raised in, and my family at that time too. Their focuses were all about aesthetic beauty. Coming from an Afro-Caribbean family, like beautiful for them meant straight hair, light colored eyes, fair skin, and I was quite the opposite of all of that. So I had one cousin in particular who had those traits, and she was considered to be like the most beautiful thing that walked on the planet. And it was a struggle for me to be brown with massive, fluffy, curly hair and chocolate colored eyes, because that didn't mean beautiful for my family and not for the community that I lived in either. Not for, especially because I started high school when I went to Puerto Rico. So it was a huge struggle to be who I was. And I look back and I see my pictures when I was that age, and I'm like, oh, honey, I just wish anyone would have told you how beautiful you are. You know, like there's something to be said about people. There are quotes out there that are like, you don't know the gift you give somebody when you just share a smile with them. But the truth is, you don't know how important, how much weight it has for you to tell someone how beautiful they are. You know, especially at that tender age. Now you have to be careful on how you do it. You don't want to walk up to a young girl and be like, oh my God, you're beautiful, because that's weird. Can we just be honest? Especially nowadays, you don't want to do that. But, you know, to your daughters, to your sisters, to, if you're a teacher, to your especially if you're a female teacher, to your female students, you know, tell them how precious they are, how smart they are. If you're a role model in your community, if you work with youth in the community, it's so important to tell them, because a lot of them just don't feel that way. I wasn't the only one that felt that way. And it's not about the physical. It never is about the physical beauty. It's about your contribution to your peers and your community and your heart on the inside. And so as I wrap up my ramblings for the day, I'll leave you guys with this. Be super kind to one another and mean it. Be genuine with one another and mean it, because that is a true superpower. Anywho, enough sappiness. Let's wrap up this event with, yay, we finished this reno. And I don't know if it's my favorite, but I really like it. I really enjoy the aesthetic, the modern flair, and the reds and the yellows and the browns. Everything goes together so nicely. And I'm glad I changed the windows on the outside, because they were giving me a heart attack. They were just not making any sense at all whatsoever. But I think we made sense of it in the end. And I do have it uploaded in my library, in my gallery. My gallery name is in the description down below. You can absolutely download it into your game now and play with it at your will. and at your leisure, or you can just wait until we're done with the project and you can have the whole enchilada then. That is totally okay as well. I appreciate you guys more than you know, and I'll see you in the next video. Enjoy the before and afters. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.